Hello everyone and welcome back. Welcome to my review for episode 4 of Superman and Lois. This episode is titled The Inverse Method. So let's have a little talk about it. Okay, so after last week's somewhat disappointing episode in that we came to realise we weren't getting Doomsday, it was actually Bizarro Superman. We pretty much pick up where this episode left off. Now, there's several storylines within this episode. Obviously, your primary storyline is the Superman and Bizarro stuff, which we'll get into in a minute. But we have a secondary storyline which involves Lois Lane and her sister Lucy. Now, obviously we know there's been issues with Lucy. Lucy's tried to take an overdose and all this sort of stuff in the past. But what we come to find out is that she's been taken into a sect, into a cult, so to speak, by a character called Ali, who comes to visit Lois and obviously won't let her know the location of her younger sister and all this sort of stuff. Now this leads Lois's colleague Chrissy to go onto the dark web and search out this Ali's whereabouts and this sort of a thing. And she ends up being inboxed by Ali, being invited to a cult seminar, so to speak. And thusly Lois and Chrissy go to this. Chrissy's the one that goes within, but at the same time Lois finds Lucy and they have a face-to-face. Now, while Chrissy is in with Ali in the seminar, Ali knows that Chrissy is there and who she really is, Chrissy Beppo, a reporter, and puts up on the TV screen the discussion going on between Lois and Lucy, where more information comes out about this story that Lois had wanted to publish ages ago, but stuff was redacted from it that Lucy wanted in it and all this sort of thing, and it makes it look like Lois had written a biased story and all this sort of thing, creating a little bit of tension between these two. And by the end of the episode, Chrissy actually gets a phone call from Ali, and it looks like there may be a bit of interest in her heading over to this cult. So there's that. We have another story line involving Jordan. Now Jordan is with his girlfriend, Lana Lang's daughter, in a little grocery store when there's an attempted theft. He overhears it with his super hearing, and what he does is he blows a bit of cold ice floor up, and the guys slip over, dropping the bottle of tequila that they're trying to steal, only to find out he's actually been recorded on camera doing this, and this leads him to contacting his grandfather, Sam Lane, fantastic character in the programme. I hope to see him utilised a lot more, who gets the video erased, so to speak, somehow, before the police can take a look at these two wannabe thieves. And he warns Jordan that he shouldn't be messing around with his powers like this and using them in this manner just to stop shoplifters. By the end of the episode, he's approached by Jordan, Sam is, and asked if Sam would train him, and Sam agrees as long as it's just kept between them two. Jonathan's off attempting to try some drugs, this drug stuff that makes him more like Superman, so to speak, so that he can win at his sports and this sort of thing. But anyway, like I said, the primary storyline is obviously Superman and the Bizarro stuff. Now what I liked is that, as we know, Superman's been having these sort of flashes and visions, but Bizarro's having the same ones, and what Clark is seeing is pretty much what Bizarro sees, but Bizarro's seeing what Clark's seeing, so I like that. Anyway, Bizarro got hold of this medallion that he's found. He knew where it was in the ice, I don't know. A bit more about that will come, I suppose. And when they have a one-on-one, this thing sort of electrifying Clark, so to speak. But when Clark's got hold of Bizarro, you see his hands starting to go black. So I don't know what that's about. We'll find that out later on. There's a couple of fights within the episode between these two. One set on the farm, and towards the end of the episode, one that's set like in the Arctic sort of thing, in a sort of icy tundra. I don't think it's the Arctic, but there you go. Obviously, John Henry Irons helps out, even though his suit is already somewhat damaged, and he's got damage to the hammer as well. And this ends up with him sort of getting badly injured and comatose and all this sort of stuff. Yeah, so all this sort of stuff went on. Yeah, so another solid episode. I know people, like I've said before, don't really like the melodrama stuff, but you know, it's a TV series. It's got to have it. It's got to, you know, the stuff that sits weakest for me is anything revolving around Lana and the mayor wanting to be mayor and this sort of stuff. I find that to be quite boring. But you know, the stuff with the sons is fine. And what they're going through, the Lois Lane and Lucy Lane stuff, I'm really enjoying. That's very good, and obviously Tyler Hoechlin knocks it out of the park again. And obviously he gets to spread his wings a little bit in that he gets to play two characters, Bizarro and Superman Clark Kent as well. Yeah, so you know, a very enjoyable episode. The effects are very good. In the fight scenes, you know, and again, I'll say it, that it's on a different level than the other CW shows. That is obvious. There's a lot more money pumped into this show than what there is the other. And I'm hoping that they keep this its own entity, so to speak, without having to cross-reference those shows or start spinning into those shows, because this show highlights the weaknesses of those shows and how cheap they actually are. When you compare this to the final season of Supergirl, the final season of Supergirl just looked awful. I mean, that final season was particularly bad in that the budget just looked like it had been slashed to nothing. The effects were god awful. But there you go, this is a thumbs up. Fantastic episode. Let me know your thoughts down below, what you thought of the episode. Where do you think it's going to go? Are we going to get Doomsday? Is this Bizarro going to turn into Doomsday? I don't know. I suppose at some point we'll get a proper Doomsday. Wishful thinking, I guess. Anyway, this is AJ. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care all, and goodbye.